Yeah. 7.
Welcome to the 3 for 3 podcast. Unlike the Houston Texans, this podcast knows how to tank.
That's absolutely correct.
That is so true.
I am Paul Nelson, your friendly historical moderator, charged with the task of keeping these two guys on track.
Can you do it?
Probably not. I am joined by Frank LaFada, a.k.a. the Quiet Assassin,
Boo.
a.k.a.
Boofa.
Mr. YouTube Views. And wow.
Seriously.
And
One day you're not touching the buttons, I swear on
the
everything.
Joker to my right is Alex, the Pod Father, a.k.a. It's a
do it.
business. It's a business.
It's a
Call it.
business.
It's a business.
It's a business.
It's a business.
They sell shirts, bro.
They do. Jerseys, man.
They sell
Jerseys.
jerseys, bro. They sell jerseys.
Today's episode 7.
Yes.
Let's see, episode 7. If we
It's
double that up,
7.
it'd be the Luca episode.
It's 7.
Oh, don't start with that.
Breaking hearts. We're going to be talking about the college football championship, some
Boom.
reaction, what comes next for college football.
Yep.
We're going
Boom.
to talk about the end of the NFL season. We're heading into wild card weekend, as well as we have our beaked Uncle Sam picks. And we do have a special segment this
Yes.
week.
We do.
Our first ever.
Our first ever,
Boom. Just for you guys, for the fans.
the Power Frankings.
We have them very confidential stuff here, guys.
It's
Super
confidential.
important. We're taking this serious now.
Confidentiality.
We ain't the Emmys. We ain't leaking nothing. This is what it is.
So, before we get started, how we doing, fellas?
There's a yellow envelope at our table.
There is.
So
There's no money in it.
Is it yellow or is it Manila? It's Manila.
It's Milli Vanilli.
It's Milli Vanilli.
It's something.
It's so Milli Vanilli.
It's some. Before we get started, I just want some instant reaction. Just 1 minute, instant reaction. Let's see. Thursday, Lakers, Mavs, Luka, LeBron's always a show. Just reaction, real quick, because I know you guys are going through it. We have the text chain.
Hey, look. Gunshots fired.
Yeah.
Boom.
By
They were
you.
there. They were there.
For what reason?
Quick. They
Who
were
wakes
there.
up at 6 o'clock in the morning with terrorist attacks?
First of all, I was up at 4 o'clock
Terrorist.
this morning.
yeah.
terrorist, too.
Because it was terrible terrorist attacks.
And by the time I got done reading and looking at all the stats and finalizing what I thought about the game,
no.
I then had a vendetta against you.
No.
I
So
woke
what
up
happened was
angry at Frank LaFada
I will tell
because
you
of
his
what
mindset.
happened last night.
What his mindset was, how can I blame this on Frank? I got 13 ways.
I try to accomplish 2 things throughout my day when it comes to this podcast. Number 1 is argue with Paul in some manner about somebody being better than somebody.
Somebody being better than Jaylen Brown.
Yes. And then number 2, pee Frank off as much as possible.
Yeah, but that's not even hard anymore.
But there's a big but because it's only by
Frank off.
attacking LeBron James.
It is. It is.
It is.
That's my method,
the
right?
the shots fired this morning were, hey, it was all LeBron's fault and Russ. But hey, we don't expect anything from Russ nowadays. So, and it was the only goal was to make Frank angry.
So
You woke
listen.
up and chose violence.
All right,
today.
so give your take on this.
Okay.
Lakers, 2 overtimes, they lose by 4. LeBron shoots 0 for 7 from the 3-point line. Combined, they shoot under 37%. LeBron and Russ combined. They also shoot under 70%. They have 61% from the free throw line combined. Out of 13 attempts, we lose by 4. I'm a Lakers fan. He's a LeBron's fan, not a Lakers fan.
Nope.
And so there's this weird thing, but quick take from you, Paul.
Yeah.
We gave our side. What are your thoughts on that?
So I was up at 1 a.m. for a very different reason, watching the game. So my takeaway from everything was the depth of the Lakers last Thursday night was horrendous, and it's very hard to win especially when Dallas is when their other players are stepping up, hitting shots. Luka does Luka things every time, but I thought Dallas's depth beat the Lakers' depth. Still no excuse to lose at home, I don't think.
In 2 overtimes,
We got 3 players injured.
who was the best player on the floor?
Luka.
Luka.
Enough said.
23-year-old Luka versus 38 LeBron. I would
Let's
hope.
move on.
I would hope. All right,
No,
so
wait.
No.
I had
Yeah,
no
I think-
chance.
I think you gotta give him
one
his.
second. Yeah, we're not going to talk about it all. Christian Wood fouling the mess out of LeBron on that reverse layup, completely
good
pulling
block.
down his arm.
That was a good
Come
block.
on.
So was it
He didn't
missed
even
by the
touch
refs?
thing. And that wasn't
Was it
even.
missed by
And
the
that
refs?
wasn't even the
Was
controversial
it
call.
missed by the refs? Did you just bring up a play call that was missed by the refs after the debacle
No.
we had 2 episodes ago?
No. Okay,
where
wait,
you
wait,
and
wait.
Paul both looked at me and said, "Oh, we can't really blame that on the refs."
So if you
He
let me
didn't.
finish talking, you'll get into the end part of the segment.
Remember, one game, one call can't lose a game.
I think you have to let him get his point off.
So
okay?
the whole point of the conversation is I can go down about 7 or 8 calls to where I must have saw 20 to 30 tweets last night about how that was the worst officiating ref game. And then that wasn't even the main call that they were talking about. It was a 3-pointer that was allegedly hit on the ball, which if you rewatch the video, he didn't touch the ball. He completely high-fived him, but not even in the way where it's legal. It was completely illegal. He fouled him many times. It was many different plays, but we're going to act like LeBron's game last night wasn't an average Kobe shooting night, but that's okay.
So shout out to Sergeant Paul Nelson. I want you to go back and look a couple episodes ago when we talked about the college playoffs and how Michigan, that play call from that wide receiver was a touchdown. And then I was then scolded by the 2 other individuals in this podcast that said you could never blame the refs.
I don't remember that. Do you remember that?
But my whole point is it was one.
I think it was
call.
the fumble that
I have
we-
like 4 or 5 calls.
I think we
can go
discussed
through.
the fumble
But even
after.
at the end of the night, that wasn't even the real situation.
Hater.
The real situation is you're mad because LeBron
always
had a
good.
Kobe night and you didn't like it.
Hater. I had a Kobe night. If he had a Kobe night, he would have hit the shot to win the game.
He shot 30-some% from the field. That's the average
Oh
Kobe.
man. Okay.
Here
so
we go.
If you're just tuning in, if this is your first episode, we are right off to the start. Remember, we're talking sports, life, everything else. Make sure you subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff. Again, I'm in charge of keeping score, so I'm going to give that opening round. Man, Alex had it. Frank, I'm going to give you 2 points because the Kobe. I mean, that is solid. That
Alex is
I mean,
going to have it because my guy had a bad night. So.
I'm gonna give I'm
He's
gonna
has
give
to get-
Alex 2 points as well
He has
because
to get points.
he managed to come at you, but without even saying your name. He just attacked LeBron, but we all know what he meant.
Yeah.
It's so
it
personal
was
to him.
it was in the thread for all of us. Not really.
Now I do want to go ahead and you mentioned the Ohio State game. I mean we had the championship for football. Let's go ahead and talk a little college football.
Did you see that Ohio State wasn't participating?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Did you see
I
that?
did see that.
I thought that I saw
Hey,
Ohio State.
matter of fact, I don't think TCU participated either.
No. TCU played as much plays last game as Alabama.
I think everybody. I mean, I want to say Frank said it too. He was like, I think we just saw the national championship game. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think I got to give him a point there. Before the game, it was a 12.5 point spread. I think by kickoff it was 13.5. It was absolutely wild.
No, and then they
You're
kicked
not
the
going to
ball, and
correct
then it
him that
went
I
to
said that, not you.
yeah.
I don't know.
You're just going to eat it.
I didn't know.
You're just going to take it.
I think we're gonna. Well,
Is this the mood we're starting out in?
Yeah, because of what you did this morning.
chose
5 o'clock
violence
in the
this morning. This is John Wick 4 in here. Good Lord, guys! Is Boban gonna come out and start trying to punch people?
He kicked my dog.
I wouldn't go with John Wick. I'd go more like Mission Impossible, which is what LeBron's on to overtake Jordan. Impossible.
Yeah, but the funny part about that movie is that guy won every time. The guy won every single movie of that.
It was scripted.
Yeah, you're right.
Right though.
So's the NBA. Ask Tim Donahue.
Come on, man. Come on. NBA scripted. You're sounding like a dude in tinfoil hat.
It's that missed 3-point call last night.
Like, no, I didn't see it. So I guess my biggest reaction was Georgia's defense was just way too much for TCU's offense. I think there are two things that won the game, obviously. And before you trolls out there like, Georgia scored more points, what an idiot. No, okay, I get it. I get you commenters like to go ahead and pop your shots, but I think it was the Georgia defense, and I think it was Stetson Bennett. So, I mean, if we want to start Georgia's defense, just sick, nasty. What do you guys think?
Frank, you want to go? You want me to go?
I mean, I can go. I don't think their defense did anything special.
Wow.
You're not wrong. It was kind of the same thing they've done all year.
Hold on. Can I give
which
Frank a lesson
I think
in
is
what the
kinda
game
special.
looked
No,
like?
no, wait. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, if they're that special of a defense, Ohio State put up a lot of points against some team. I just think TCU just was not supposed to be there.
You ever watched
Michigan should have been there.
You ever watched a mom, like, when her life's on the line, do something miraculous, like pick up a side of a car or,
No.
some crazy stuff? You see the videos
Not
of it?
personally, but yeah, I've seen it on YouTube.
Yeah, like there's a thing like that. Ohio State was playing their national championship against Georgia. That was like the Redskins beating the Cowboys last week. They played their championship game. That was it.
Subtle shot.
Same thing. And so, but I'll break it down layman terms for you. TCU couldn't stop Georgia from scoring, and TCU couldn't score.
Well,
And that's how we break it down.
I don't know if anybody does math, but that math be math.
That math be mathin'.
That A plus B equals calculus. And
Thank you.
I'm always on the outside on high fives. It's okay. It's all right. It's my role. I'm here. I hold the pen, so I can't high five. I think what you stumbled on, Frank, at the very beginning, it's when I was looking at everything, it was kind of a typical Georgia defense game.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at some of the most explosive offenses we've seen in colleges here. Tennessee, Georgia put a stop to them. I mean, the fact that I almost watched the game and went, man, I kind of want to give more credit to Ohio State now watching that. I do think that Bennett played careless in the first half against Ohio State. And I think that aided them. I don't think you're giving him enough blame. I think you're saying, well, no, it's all Ohio State. But, I mean, Bennett played a miraculous. I mean, he played the perfect game for Georgia in the championship. And this is 2 years in a row that he's done that.
I'll say this. I think the coaching was better. The game plan was better on the Ohio State side for that game.
And Marvin Harris was a difference maker till he got hurt.
Yeah,
Huge.
I don't think
Huge.
I don't think TCU has the personnel Ohio State does. I mean, Ohio State, they can have 4 or 5 guys get injured, and you have 5 stars after 5 stars after 5 stars.
How bad of a game was it if we're still talking about Ohio State?
But shout out to the Horned Frogs for
true.
being there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What an accomplishment. That was cool to see.
Sonny Dykes' first season there. I mean,
Crazy.
That's a selling point. Now, a player who I think stood out, Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I think you sent me the text after the very first catch. You're like, this kid is different.
He's
like
huge.
just different. You know, it's
Fast. He's huge. He looks like he's on the varsity and they're on the JV.
Yeah.
On a national championship
Absolutely.
team.
I agree.
It's we talked about in our 3-for-3 forum, how many years out of high school they should be. It's amazing that last year, he won the John Mackey Award for best tight end, and he's a true sophomore. Like we have to wait a whole another year for him.
He has to play college football.
Yeah, he doesn't have to. He could sit out, but I don't think that's in his blood.
Imagine how good he's going to be next year.
It's just wild. I mean, I think there's a chance that he becomes the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. Right now it's Kyle Pitts, picked 4th by Atlanta.
How'd that work out?
I think it's still a process. When you don't have a quarterback, it's hard to.
You notice anytime you talk about a high draft pick that's not there yet.
Well, I
can't call him a bust.
I'm
yet,
not going to call a kid a bust after the second year.
I would.
And his quarterbacks were Marcus Mariota, the corpse of Matt Ryan, and then Desmond Ridder for a little bit this year.
Quick question: better arm talent, Mariota or Lamar Jackson?
Arm
Lamar
talent
Jackson.
is Lamar Jackson
Okay.
by far.
Don't
not
say
even
by
close.
far.
He can throw.
It's not even close.
He can fling the thing.
It's not even close. Stetson Bennett, getting back to the guy who throws Brock Bowers the ball, he is just, the story on him, we talked about it last time, walk-on, he was a preferred walk-on at Georgia, so he paid his own way. I mean, there's tons of guys there. There's Justin Fields there. So he transfers, he goes to Jones College, which if anybody's seen Last Chance U, the first 2 seasons, yeah, East Mississippi, Jones College, they're all in like the same conference.
Yeah.
So that's big boy JUCO football.
JUCO.
Then he goes back to Georgia where he beats out JT Daniels, who, if you guys remember, was the second highest rated quarterback coming out of high school, a 5-star, transfer from USC, he beats him out.
Shout out Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. Now shout out Lincoln Riley now. Didn't have him, but still, it's Frank. What are your thoughts on this kid?
My note is they'll make a Netflix special about it.
Oh,
That's what my note was. That was the only thing I could think of. I was like, what are we going with this? It's a great story.
I was hoping
It's
you would
heartwarming.
maybe reference where Kirby Smart said he should get a chance to the NFL.
No. I mean,
You don't think so?
The guy is going to be not well.
Really?
I don't think he's going to translate well.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's that special.
I don't think
He makes some big plays, but he might. So did Chris Winkie.
I said a couple weeks ago that my only problem with Georgia was that they didn't have any swag. I watched that kid pretty close the last 2 weeks.
He's got some
They're
personality.
swaggy.
He's got some personality.
They're a little swaggy.
He's
like Stetson, but like
he's
the
like
upgrade
the
of the
dollar
Stetson
store
cologne.
version of Baker Mayfield.
Oh, bro.
Baker Mayfield was a better college quarterback than Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, he won the Heisman. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I think if we're looking at next, he's back-to-back national championship winner, and he had, unbelievable games as a championship. You can have a great team, you still have to perform. And again, TCU's Max Duggan should have known that. I have him my comps a 5th or 6th rounder. I think he's a better version of Taylor Heineke.
Ooh.
I do think he's a poor man's version or a great value version of Russell Wilson. I think he's 5'11", 5'10", 5'11". I do think he's got more wiggle than any of these quarterbacks. He can scoot. He's got a lot of athleticism. I think the one play where they sent an edge rusher, it was a blitz. It was a cornerback blitz. Sent the cornerback on him. He completely reversed his field and just threw a dime down the field.
Dot.
Or as the kids say, he dotted him up. So
Dot.
And yet he'll be drafted at the age of 26.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I still think there's room for him in the NFL on some team. He's an asset on some team.
yeah, I think Chase Daniel coming out of
I was about to say.
Chase Daniel was the same type of guy. If he can make $65 million only with 4 starts, great. I think Bennett's going to be a guy that you bring in to push your other young player to say, hey, you know what? He's a cheaper version of you.
Over under, he starts 10 games in his career in the NFL.
Over right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, by far over.
I think I'm taking the over on that also.
Because
I think I'll
honestly,
go
you just
over.
said Chase Daniels. That means
10
he beat
10
Chase Daniels
years?
by 4 games, I think.
10 years though, but yeah, I think
10 years? No, I said 10 games. 10 games.
Right. And I'm saying
But if he plays
has
10
a
years.
10-year career.
I don't know if he could play 2 or 3. So that's
I
my.
think-
I don't think he's going to translate well.
Hey, backups stay around.
They do.
Backups stay around.
They do.
Hold a clipboard. Learn to hold a clipboard, kids.
Start 2 or 3 a year when somebody goes down.
Now,
That's all you got to do.
it's week 18.
It's a very Dallas Cowboy signing.
Well, I mean,
Thank you.
I was going to say no. Well, maybe.
Tony Romo ended up starting much more than 10 games.
Dallas started a pitcher from baseball one time, so I don't put anything past Dallas.
Shout out Drew Henson.
Yeah, Drew Henson.
What a bum. Couldn't hit the curveball.
My
Shout out
gosh.
Yankees.
Gosh. This also brought up the question, and I think David Pollack said this, right? When he's like, hey, Georgia's the premier program in the country, and he said it with Nick Saban right there. So my question, Alex, is
That was tough.
has Kirby Smart surpassed Nick Saban as the best coach in the country?
No, I can't put it that way. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking about it earlier. I said Nick Saban, Brian Kelly's still around at LSU. You know what I mean? You have Jim Harbaugh. What about Dabo? I mean, that Clemson. I mean, they're relevant.
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher. Nobody talks about him. He's a great college coach. And then, of course, you can't leave out USC legend, the turnaround, Lincoln Riley. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But Kirby Smart's probably number 2 or 3.
College coaches.
My rankings would be Nick Saban,
Okay.
Jim Harbaugh, Kirby.
Okay. All right. Frank, you completely have that look of disgust. So
I think I wins
tell
a
us how
back-to-back
Alex is
national
wrong.
championship, and we're going to call somebody else's team
Barry
better.
Switzer won a championship, bro.
Good college coach.
Yeah, he didn't do
Good
bad at all.
college coach.
He
He
was,
was a horrible NFL coach.
Yeah.
he's a back-to-back
Well,
coach in today's SEC champion.
So was Saban. Saban was a horrible
He was a
NFL coach. so-
horrible NFL coach.
and beat Alabama both games. Not one game. They beat them last year too. My whole point to the situation
Didn't
is
play him this year.
They didn't play them this year?
No, they didn't play
Oh,
them
it's
this year.
because they couldn't make it to the championship.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry.
SEC.
They weren't good enough to make it to their own championship, let alone the playoffs.
I love how
I'm
you
giving
have now,
myself a point for setting you up with that one. I didn't mean
Thank
to,
you.
but all
Thank
right.
you. I appreciate it.
I
That was
love
good.
I love how you have now given a prediction on San Francisco, Minnesota, Week 17 in the NFL. You've now let us know how.
I think I set you up for that one too.
You've let us know now that Alabama has lost 2 years in a row to Georgia. Not true.
They played twice last year. Again, not this past year, the year before.
Year
They played
before.
twice. They won one, lost one. So,
Correct.
Yeah.
So
You're
why
not
is
wrong.
The winner of the
Split.
SEC 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
The winner of the national championship 2 years in a row.
That's great.
NIL completely jacked up Nick Saban, and because of that, he can't just get 47 offensive and defensive linemen to stack up because he knows they're going to get drafted.
Not true.
People are making millions everywhere, and because of that, you got to spread the talent around, and he is suffering because of it.
Alabama is still the premier college football destination.
3 years ago.
I had coaches. I think Saban is still one. I think he is, and I get your argument. I understand. Hey, Kirby Smart's won the last two. I understand. I still think Saban is a little bit ahead of him in terms of he's won titles at two different places. He's changed Michigan. He changed Michigan State. He changed LSU, and he changed Alabama.
Big programs.
So I think, but I do think Smart's a close second. There's a reason why all these Alabama assistants go off and get jobs like Kirby Smart did. I think Lincoln Riley is probably the third best coach in the country.
You guys dismiss Harbaugh like that?
The only reason I'm dismissing him is because I don't think he's a college coach anymore.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't even thinking because he was in my mindset too.
That's relevant.
I was going there, but I was like, he's not there. So.
And then I have Dabo and then Brian Kelly. Now who I am dismissing is Ohio State's coach Ryan Day.
Yeah, I don't trust
Thank
him.
you.
Right. So I
don't trust him.
Yeah, I think we're 3 for 3. I think it's one of those. He's not Urban Meyer.
Yeah, that if Urban Meyer would have,
Right.
Yeah, it'd have been different.
Absolutely. I agree.
You guys kind of leaked into the next question. Top 5 programs in the country right now. I mean, is it Georgia? Is it Alabama? Frank, I mean, it sounds like you're leaning toward no. Hey, it's Georgia's game. Everybody else is on the outside looking in.
So top 5, I do have Georgia.
Okay.
I do have Ohio State making a return to just top 5. I'm not asking saying they're number 1. I have Alabama.
Okay.
Clemson has a great recruiting class, and I don't underestimate Dabo in that weak ACC. But outside looking in and coming out of a different Arch Manning's coming. Texas is going to be there.
Texas is coming, bro.
Texas is going to be there.
Texas is coming.
Texas is not sleeping. Don't sleep on Arch Manning. Yeah. They paid a lot of money just to have a dinner for the kid to come, and they expect to get dividends.
And those Manning brothers are for real. That Manning cast, you imagine adding Arch?
Not being funny, and Peyton wasn't bull jiving. He said he's better.
Did you just say bull jiving?
Because
we got to give him a point for that one. Here we go with another high five.
I was waiting for you.
You guys go ahead. I'm over the high fives behind my back, in front of my face. I'm so done
that's
with
some
you
bull
too.
jive. You wouldn't do a high five with us.
It's bull jive for both of y'all.
But Arch Manning's coming.
That's a great point, Frank.
He's got another year. They're going to start Quinn Ewers.
They paid a lot of money for him.
Right, I think Arch is already enrolled. If you guys paid attention to Bleacher Report, he lost his student ID. Somebody picked it up, so that's nice. I guess that's his first turnover.
Yeah, that's his first turnover.
First
of many. Get used to
well,
him.
Mannings usually throw turnovers.
They usually throw interceptions. It's
especially
okay.
the first couple years.
Fumble the ball, throw an interception. You're gonna be all right.
Another program I think we got to watch out for is Notre Dame.
I don't trust them yet.
I think the only reason I trust them is because of the transfer quarterback that they just got in, Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman made Wake Forest a legit thing. And if you can do that at Wake Forest, now you're going to Notre Dame where you actually have weapons. He's another Stetson Bennett type. Hey, he's got, he's going to be 25 years old, I think. He's bounced around. He's got a medical red shirt.
Grown man.
Yeah,
that dude's carrying a life insurance policy already.
he's something else.
His insurance just lowered.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's getting cheaper car insurance with us already, guys.
My favorite thing though, because you watch these shows like QB1 or like Last Chance U, and now you're seeing it's cool. You're seeing them in college. Like Sam Hartman was a star on I think the first season of QB1.
Yeah,
and you're going, dude, we've seen him progress from high school through college. Now, who do we think is going to be in contention next year? Just really quick, who are a couple teams that you think?
I want to do this for you guys really quick. If I could just go through my list of top 5 schools.
Please do.
Go ahead and put your fingers out and do a -1 to each name that I give.
He's going to have 12 names.
Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Tennessee, Michigan, Florida State.
You just
Is that seven in your top 5?
7 in my top 5.
7, Alex.
And that's not the most podfather thing that we've ever done.
It's,
He get
That is
extra
it.
choices every time.
he does. He takes it. You know, it's just
Take advantage, bro.
take points away.
Smokey said it. Take advantage, man. Take advantage.
I have the same. Frank, do you have anybody else? I mean, you kind of are.
No, Texas was my other one that I was
Yeah.
like, I think that with because
I
it's
like
not
Texas.
just Arch Manning.
Yeah.
They have the number, I think, 2 or 3 recruiting class, and
Every year, but
It
that's
never translates to
That's.
this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is. Listen, it's Steve Sarkisian. I feel like in Texas, where everybody else you get like 4 or 5 years. All right, let's see how the recruits do. He's in year 3 at Texas. If you don't win 10 or 11 games this year, I'm sorry. We're going to move on.
He was offensive coordinator where?
Alabama
Bama.
and the Falcons.
You're just supported a Nick Saban thing. You're supporting Alabama over there. You
I don't-
come? Are you
I
joining the
didn't
dark
s-
side,
I
bro?
didn't say I hate Nick Saban. I actually think they should be the favorite to win the championship.
I just say you think you like
Yeah.
Texas. You pulled that one out. I love
yeah,
that.
I actually think Alabama's going to win the chip next year.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good
I
for
think
you.
the wide receivers are just going to just be way too much for every 18-year-old kid in college.
Early Heisman favorite, Marvin Harrison Jr. We're going to see wide receiver
How
win
do
it
you
like
not?
Devontae. And then my sleeper team is South Carolina. Spencer
Ooh,
Rattler's
the
coming back.
Gamecocks?
Yeah. Shane Beamer surprised a lot of teams at the end of the season. For them to have,
Beamer?
Bama.
He's not a Benz, ladies and gentlemen, but he's
Shout
a
out
Beamer.
Hokies.
So I think they're going to be really good. I think it's going to be the same usual suspects. I love college football. I'm looking forward to spring practices coming up here in a couple months, and I will nerd out on that by myself, I'm sure, and keep you guys updated.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Just send the memo.
I was thinking about
We're
Willie
good.
Beamer.
Willie Beamer
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
keeps ladies.
Yeah, that's when you said Beamer, I was like, Beamer?
Yo, LL Cool J punched him.
For real. That was a real thing.
That's
He
a
did.
real thing.
We should get in that in another podcast.
Yeah.
LL, if you want to come in, Jamie, if you want to explain your side of the story.
Mama said knock you out.
So the next thing, again, college football is done. The NFL postseason is on the way. Some Week 18 takeaways. I'm going to start because
Please do.
the
This
Bi-
is your floor.
The Bills game.
Yeah.
Man, it's talk about sports. I always joke with my kids at school and everybody saying sports are poetic, man. Sports are. There's just something about how things work out in sports that make you go, there's something greater than this. It's 3 years, 3 months since they returned to kick. DeMar Hamlin's number 3, and Naheem Hines takes it to the house. Not once,
Killed it.
but twice. Now, saying that, watching the game, this Bills team does look like a team that's shook, and they're still kind of finding their feet, which is understandable. I think it looks like a ghost of the Bills from the beginning of the
You
season.
pretty much got a bye week the first round, so you'll be all right.
I hope so. I mean, that was my whole takeaway from it, was that their mojo looks
Yes.
gone.
Right.
They look shook.
And honestly, they definitely scare me right now because they can't even win this week if they can't figure it out.
Right.
I mean, they needed both those returns
Yeah.
Yeah, they
did.
needed all of that.
to beat a depleted, not depleted, but a team they should have handed.
They did.
They should have been very handedly, and it was a game.
They did, and I'm glad they didn't lose. Which brings us to our next team, the Cowboys. How angry were you? Because that was a brutal game.
Okay, so 0 anger. Here's why. Listen to me.
If you predict they win another week and they lose, it's not going through.
I didn't pick them last week.
3 for 3
You pick a
jinx.
prediction every week that's somehow going to benefit the Cowboys.
Well, I got another one this week,
and
so
then
give me a
it
second.
lost 3 weeks in a row. Like, I just
If
stop.
you would just stop. Quiet assassin.
We got a 3 for 3 jinx. And
We
you
do.
make it real every week.
I'm going to break the Madden curse. So listen. Here's my thing with last week. It was the Redskins Super Bowl. That was their championship. Good for them going out on a high note. Young kid.
It's Commanders.
Sorry, Commanders. My bad, guys.
Taking a point away. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Just Commander's a stupid name. So, and I'll say that.
They commanded the Cowboys.
That was a cheap shot.
That's a good one, Frank. It's so LeBron of you. But listen, so I saw us do a couple things. We tried a couple different offensive lineups. It looked like we were forcing the ball to get some guys some money. Those things happen week 18 when you're already in there and you can't move. They were scoreboard watching. They knew the Eagles were winning. It is what it is. We tried some things, and I think we tried to get some guys paid. And good for Dak. Good for that coaching staff to try to get guys paid. Do that. If Noah Brown needs 5 catches, that's why he got 11 targets. Let it go.
I mean, it is a business.
It's a business. Get them paid.
It's a business.
They could have moved last week.
Yeah. There was I don't know.
There was no opportunity.
There was ability to move left to right.
San Francisco one-handedly, and Philadelphia won. There was
As
no movement.
they were playing at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, Philly jumped out early, and San Francisco was dominating, bro.
And so
do you
did
think those
Washington.
conversations aren't being had on the sideline?
And so did Washington.
Yeah,
Early.
it was cool.
Yeah, they weren't ready for that.
We were feeding.
They weren't ready for that.
They didn't wanna play.
Honestly, it might be the best thing for the Cowboys to take that smack right before the playoffs.
So here's the thing.
Honestly, because everybody they
week
always
one-
want to be
We
Washington.
lose week 1. We win 2 in a row.
Okay.
We lose. We win 4 in a row.
All right.
We lost.
Uh-huh.
We won 2 in a row.
Okay.
Now we lost.
Yep.
What's that mean? What's the next rhythm? 4 in a row. How many games does it take
Rhythm
to
or
win the
pattern?
Super Bowl?
I think pattern.
Pattern.
I got
Pattern.
you.
Pattern's it. It's very controversial, rhythm versus pattern. But, yeah, 4 in a row takes us to the Super Bowl. I'm cool with it.
We're going to talk about Wild Card Weekend in a minute. But I do want. I mean, Dallas's loss is San Francisco's gain. San Francisco getting the 2nd seed. They are the 2nd seed, but I don't know. They're the favorites, right? Don't you think they're favorites over the Eagles? Who do you think is going to?
How are they not?
Yeah,
I will decline to talk about this because
Brock Purdy.
to say one would be to give away.
Wait, yeah, the power rankings.
Okay, yeah. So,
all right,
but I agree with you,
I saw
Paul.
this was like I'm gonna stay quiet on this.
Before
Okay.
we get there, I think San Francisco is definitely your NFC East favorites. Your NFC favorites, not NFC East.
The
sorry.
Eagles look so. I mean, listen, I get they won against a Giants team that sat everybody, including the Water Boy, but I mean, Jalen Hurts looks.
He looks hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look the same.
He looks like he's got a shoulder injury.
Do you trust Nick Sirianni? I don't think I do.
He looked a little bit like he was also trying not to just further get hurt. Like his
That's
team
what
was
hurt
doing.
players do.
Yeah, but like he was also like it doesn't really matter. Like once they got up a little bit,
He's
I don't
going to
think
say
they
the
cared.
right thing.
No saying. I'm telling you the way if I physically saw the game.
As I'm watching that game, I'm looking at him. He's ducking. He's falling early. That shoulder's protected. You can see the zip off the ball. He wasn't really streamlining it down the field. That shoulder's an issue. It's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
I think they needed to get the victory. They did what they had to do.
Yeah.
Now they have a legit bye, not a bye, Tua's hurt. No, they have a legit bye.
not to his hurt.
You know,
That's the Bills bye I was talking about.
Yeah, or Lamar
hurt.
Jackson's hurt. It's not that type of bye.
Yeah.
It's an actual like they got. So he's got 2 weeks before he plays again.
Yeah,
That's not why. I won't say nothing else.
Thank you.
I do want to mention the Steelers because again they were in contention for the 7th seed. They didn't get it, but Mike Tomlin
Making me
finishing
look bad.
9-8.
He's a legend for that.
He's
Bro.
never
He's a legend.
finished under 500.
He's a legend.
Homeboy can coach.
He's a legend.
Listen, just again stats for Anthony. 16 years, 163, 93 and 2. It's a 64 winning percentage, and he's 1 and 2 in Super Bowls.
He
But
has
he's got a ring.
he has a better plus minus ratio than the Minnesota Vikings
Oh wow,
this year.
that's a good stat.
Who doesn't? That's in the playoffs.
Hey, they were 13 win game season.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
I just I thought so. I asked we have a couple Steeler fans in our lives, and I asked all of them. I was like, hey, Mike Tomlin, is it time to move on? Like, is his voice stale? And all of them were like, early this season, I thought maybe, yeah, but now kind of want to see what he does with the young guys. They have Pickett, they have Pickens, they have Harris. What they need to do is revamp that offensive line, revamp that defensive secondary a little bit, just tweak it. But yeah, it's
Dare I
and
say,
TJ Watt's coming back.
he's a Super Bowl or so away from being Bill Belichick-ish.
being into
You do
Mount
this
Rushmore.
every week. Hold on a second. The first week, the first one you did, it was about who was it about? He said
He said last week Patrick Mahomes, is a Super
Kawhi
Bowl
Leonard.
MVP.
And then
away.
Kawhi Leonard.
is
And
close
now
to being
this
the
week,
GOAT.
Mike Tomlin's going to be Bill Belichick if he wins more Super
if he
Bowl.
wins a third Super Bowl without Tom Brady, and with Ben Roethlisberger, and what he's got going on. So if he wins the next one, another Super Bowl after changing court, like because Bill Belichick's only won with Tom Brady. That's what he's working with.
Now
Okay.
I understand
I
why
got
you
you.
think LeBron is the best ever. Because
I'm
best
right.
ever ratio is like from here to here.
How many Super
There's-
Bowls has Bill Belichick won?
How many? I don't know. 5?
I think it's 5. Yeah,
It's 5. How many has he won without Tom Brady?
0. Well, as a defensive
Who
coordinator,
cares?
he won one.
How many did
point
George
is-
Seifert win without Joe
Great
Montana?
players may also help great coaches. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is being confused as a top 10 quarterback of all time. And that dude has that type of record and never had a losing season.
You don't think Ben Roethlisberger is the top 10 quarterback of all time?
No.
Okay, you know what we have next episode. We do have Mount Rushmore,
Wow.
quarterback Mount Rushmore. So we'll see.
No,
maybe.
you might be right. Maybe 15.
Yeah, I'm
I might
not,
give him top
saying
10.
he's.
I'd say maybe
I'm
top
not saying
15.
he's outside top 100. I just don't think he's a top 10. He's not beating Montana, Marino. He's not beating Manning. He's not beating Brady. He's not beating Breeze.
I
in
think
my
if you
mind.
take Favre out now,
I'm not taking Favre out.
we have to.
Why?
Same reason we take Karl Malone out. We don't like him.
No, Karl Malone was Karl Malone.
We don't like Karl
Look,
Malone.
that guy took millions. Karl
don't
Malone
like
took
Karl
other
Malone.
things.
Is that a
Karl Malone.
legit thing though? Can we do that with Brett Favre?
We
I'm not taking him out.
I don't think we can take
Not
Brett
top 10.
Favre out. I don't know. You know what? I'd have to do more research.
Okay, let's look at that though.
We'll take a look, and Wednesday, Thursday, when our next episode drops, we'll see who we have on Mount Rushmore, and that'll kind of narrow it down.
Yeah.
The last thing for Week 18, the Lions and the Packers. Man,
Bro.
I mean,
Just wow. There's
it's-
nothing else. No other notes.
the Lions were out. They're out. You have no chance of making the playoffs, and they're like, you know what though? We can crush some dreams.
Did you hear what they said Jared Goff said?
No.
So Jared Goff, he says, I grew up the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan. Like he was so upset when Aaron Rodgers didn't get drafted to his team. He's
Cal.
a huge
Both Cal kids.
huge San Francisco kid. He grew up in Cal, went to Cal. Aaron Rodgers, same thing. He really wanted Aaron Rodgers to go to the San Francisco 49ers, and he said he almost cried when he didn't. That's how much he loves Aaron Rodgers. And then he said, but this week I just want to send him home.
Yeah.
And he did.
What do we think this means for Aaron Rodgers? Has he played his last game in Green Bay? Frank?
He's got to be a Viking, right? Not a Viking. I mean, a Raider. He's got to be a Raider. He's
Or a
Brett Favre. He'll be a
Viking.
Viking.
Viking, yeah.
He'll be a if he's
A
Brett
Raider.
Favre, he'll be a Viking.
Raider,
But no, he
huh?
should be a Raider.
So you
I
think
mean,
Raider?
if he's not a Raider, gosh, there's so many teams. It's Aaron Rodgers, and he's not bad.
No.
He's still got a lot of left in his tank.
I texted you the other day with where I thought Aaron Rodgers should go. The JETS.
Never. It'll never.
It's a
happen.
great fit.
It'll
It's-
never. I know. There's a lot of great fits in life. That'll never happen.
And then you let Zach Wilson sit under Aaron Rodgers, learn the game, learn how to study it.
Zach
You
Wilson
just-
or Mike White?
No, Zach Wilson. Definitely
I'm
Zach Wilson.
just making sure.
No.
When after you said that, I felt like the pieces were coming together. I was like, man, is Nathaniel Hackett going to go ahead and take that OC job and be like, hey, Aaron, I missed you. And Aaron's going to be like, Nat, I missed you.
It's like,
It could.
you know that song where it was like,
It could
let
happen.
it rain.
But
When
as a Bills
it's
fan, I
raining.
wouldn't hate that. I'm fine with Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets. That works. We're going to try and fix the Packers. We're going to have a segment in our next episode. This week we're trying to fix the Bears. Why are we trying to fix the Bears? Because they have the first pick in the draft. So they managed to get it. They're followed by Houston, Arizona, Indy, and it would have been Denver's pick, but they have Russ Wilson written on their card, so it's Seattle's pick. How did Houston? I don't think it's going to hurt them too much because I think first pick, second pick, it's not that much.
It's not going to make no
And
difference.
it's going to matter. And when we go through it, I'm going to tell you why it's going to matter.
Ooh, stay tuned midweek.
Yeah.
Midweek,
it's happening.
when we fix the Bears, we'll see what he says. A couple other things, just draft wise, because I love the NFL draft. The Eagles have 2 picks, 10th and the 32nd pick. Houston has the 2nd and 12th pick. Detroit has 2 picks as well, the 6th and 18th. Teams with no picks: New Orleans, the Rams, Cleveland, and San Francisco. No picks.
The Rams.
Shocker.
Shout out to McVay's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's big. That's big.
I think Baker stays now.
We have
I think your take is
We
right.
have open
Yeah.
jobs listed on our
Yeah.
podcast sheets, and I was like, I wonder if the Rams are going to be on there. And I was like,
It's-
they better not.
it's not. That's
I
not.
did say Baker Mayfield breathed a little life into him. I think I'm telling you, he might like Baker.
He's no Brock Purdy, but he's something.
I think
He's
he might
not
like
Brock
Baker.
Purdy. He's not.
Yeah, you. I mean, you mentioned it. Open jobs. So Carolina. I think Steve Wilkes probably comes back unless they manage to trick Harbaugh to coming down there. But-
So are we going through with like who we think the top candidate would be?
Yeah, if you just want to throw some names out there, who you think will? I mean,
Okay.
if you want to throw, should we tell them a name so we get 3? Yeah, just give us one name.
All right, for Carolina.
Yeah.
All right, I would say Kellen Moore, Ken Dorsey, or D'Amico Ryans would be a great fit in Carolina.
Okay.
I think they're keeping the. I think they're keeping the coach.
I think
I don't think.
Wilkes.
I don't think he does.
I think they
We'll
do.
see, but I don't think they
They
do.
played so
I don't-
well for him. Like they really,
It's
they
not
really
even just that.
responded.
I don't even think they really. I think this year is not the year unless there's some overwhelming candidate. Nobody wants that job right now.
Okay.
Carolina.
Yeah, I don't think it's a very favorable job. I think that coach made.
I think
them
it's a
play
top
over their
5
heads.
job out of the ones that are available.
It's 5 jobs are available. It's a top 5 job.
You know
And
what?
there's no-
Your
it's-
math
you know
is
what?
mathing,
There's
bro.
no bad-
according to
Good for
Alex, it'd be
you.
a top 8 job.
Good
You know, there's
for
5
you,
jobs
yeah.
open. It's top 8
And
job.
listen, there's not a bad NFL job. Like if your dream is to coach
but
the NFL,
I don't think that. But yeah, but that's not the point. I'm not
Yeah.
saying anybody. I'm saying if you have like the like a Harbaugh
Right.
or a what's his name, Peyton, they're not getting
Okay.
those. And because of that, I think
Yeah.
they're just going to bring the guy back. I think they'll try to build their team a little more, make them a little more tractable. And I think that this is a Lovie Smith type of situation.
I mean, that's an
thought
easy
he was
take.
gone the whole time. and
I don't
think it's
agree with
something-
it. That's an easy take. I think Wilkes is gone, and I think they bring in somebody offensive minded that takes that franchise.
Yeah, I think Wilkes is there, and I think they can bring in offensive talent without making them the head coach. I think it's Wilkes.
I think they
think
should bring in Matt Patricia then.
I think yeah, defensive wizard and offensive struggler. Indy's the next job. You guys know how I feel. I think it's Harbaugh. I think it has to be Harbaugh. Frank, what do you think, Indy?
See, Indy's attractive.
I think it's more attractive than Carolina.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
why I say
sleeper out
they
there.
have
It's
a
a top
chance.
5 job.
There's a sleeper. It is a top 5 job
I
right
can't
now.
pick any one, but they have a chance. They're a way more attractive type of destination than Carolina. I don't know if they're as attractive as the rest of them, but I don't know. At this point, just I would like to see Reggie Wayne get a shot. Just being honest,
So I have one that you guys are going to be like,
I definitely know they're not returning.
I don't know.
Saturday's not coming back.
No, he's
Saturday has
not.
been a disaster.
That's my
We'll
Frank
go back to-
Stradamus for
It's
the month.
like you went out all night on Friday and you have to sleep off the hangover Saturday is what he's been.
yeah.
Special assistant to the owner, Jeff Saturday again. He's going to go back to
the assistant to the
Yeah.
assistant
I
regional
swear
manager.
I would like Reggie Wayne to get a shot. That would
Got
be
your
my-
coffee here, boss. Thanks,
Oh.
Jeff.
For Indy, man, here you go. Take this one. Eat on it. Chew on it for a minute. Jim
Okay.
Caldwell comes back.
Ooh, okay.
It's possible.
So a redemption tour.
Hmm
Jesus
I think
could come
I think
back
it's
too.
super possible. The other two that I had in my mind, I think Jim Harbaugh's my favorite outside of a reunion with Jim Caldwell. Ben Johnson,
Okay.
OC of the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I think he's set himself up for some interviews. He's going to be on the hot seat to get a job. He could be an interesting fit in Indianapolis, especially if they trade up to get a draft pick.
Yeah.
But
I can see. I mean, and that's what GM Chris Ballard said, right? He's like, "Hey, at 4, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get us the quarterback we need." And so you're like,
Absolutely.
He is throwing those, flares up in the air, saying, "Hey, Chicago, if you are up to moving the pick, we're going to take it. That's
Right.
fine."
Because most likely, if Chicago moves down to 4, they're really going to probably still get their
or
guy.
if they're up to move Fields.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Tune in Wednesday or Thursday when the episode drops. That brings us to Denver. Now, Denver is very unique because, again, they made the big move, the splashy move of Russ Wilson. I think they have some really good offensive weapons. Alex, is this the Sean Payton destination?
I think pending a Dallas win this week, it is a Sean Payton destination. I still think Frank Reich's the best fit there, and I also like Shane Steichen out of Philadelphia. the OC there. I think he'd be a great fit with Russell Wilson and running that RPO stuff once Williams is healthy again. And I know he doesn't have the legs and speed anymore, but he's still a more mobile quarterback than most.
Yeah, he can still move a little bit.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it just
It's
gives
not
him
Tom
extra-
Brady back there. He's not a statue.
Exactly. He's not Peyton Manning fumbling
Right.
around. But
No.
so those are what I think. But I think Sean Payton if Dallas wins.
Frank, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I definitely think if it's anybody like Sean Payton's, it's the Sessi pick.
They need that after the Russell Wilson thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I think Russell Wilson's going to be.
You
Swear,
s- you
I'm
said
on
it.
the Russell
Yeah.
Wilson is going to be a top 5 quarterback next year.
You ride
I think
with
he was
him.
been hurt, and I think that he started to come along.
That's right.
That last game, he was phenomenal. The last game,
Yeah.
and I think he's starting to get healthy. He's got 2 legit wide receivers. They're both fantastic in their own rights. Different skill sets.
You're bearish on him. We know.
Yeah,
we
very
you know-
much so.
And I love the defense. Absolutely. And if they got a defensive head coach and just got a good offensive coordinator that's willing to run the system, I don't think that's obscene either. I
It
don't
was
think they need that
Surtain
much of an
or it was Surtain or Parsons for me in that draft.
Yeah,
Surtain's great.
You couldn't go wrong with either
Yeah,
one.
either one of them.
I think you hit it. I mean, they've interviewed Raheem Morris.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they could go there. I think the cool thing about Sean Payton is, remember, New Orleans still kind of, I hate to say owns his rights, but they own his rights. He's under contract with New Orleans, so
And they don't have any picks.
they do. They actually have the 25th pick in the draft. So it's
Denver?
Yeah, Denver does. Yeah, because it was a pick that they got, I think, from San Francisco.
Do you think they move off it a little easier now that they've said that Dennis Allen is coming back? New Orleans, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting that they said that today,
I don't know. I
right
think,
before.
I mean,
week
if
one.
Peyton don't want to come back,
Yeah, but I think
take anything. It's a free pick.
I think if Denver's going to give up the pick for anyone, I think they'd say, if we write down Sean Payton's name under that 25th pick, I'm good with it. We're good with it.
Not
Okay,
mad
we
about
drafted,
that.
we drafted a leader of our team, a guy who can turn things around in a tough AFC West conference.
And they were already supposed to have a roster that was going to compete.
His system is listen, Sean Payton his system is perfect for Russell Wilson playing the Drew Brees role.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams playing the role of Alvin Kamara, having better wide receivers than he ever had in New Orleans.
Well, yeah, that's his thing. You
They're
have
not.
to have a
Spreading the
quarterback
ball
that's
out.
under 6 foot tall.
Yeah, check.
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 A running back who's a
got to be a clutch
speedster.
quarterback.
A versatile, that was the word. Versatile,
Versatile.
running back. You have to have a decent tight end.
They have a legit defense. Their defense is legit.
Bradley Chubb.
And they have a
Patrick
couple
Surtain.
receivers crew that's kind of big.
Yep.
Those guys are big. Like
Yeah.
the Michael Thomas big.
They're fast, they're energetic.
Yep. One place that just needs help everywhere, it seems, is Houston. I mean, they need help tanking games. Which I think that was a
Good for
little
Lovey.
bit. Yeah, that was a little bit of Lovey going.
Lovey
you know
knew
what?
he was gone.
Whatever. I know I'm on the way out.
Good for Lovey.
I'm gonna go ahead and put some tape on. He'll get a college job somewhere. He is the perfect stabilizer for your school.
Yeah.
Again, I like Eric Bieniemy here. We've mentioned him before. I think if Eric Bieniemy is going to get a job anywhere, it's going to be someplace where they say, "Here's the offense. You do whatever you want. We'll bring in a solid defensive coordinator to help back you up, and we'll just go from there." Frank, who do you have there?
In my mind, the funny pick was they'll go the Jeff Saturday route and go get David Carr to come back and coach the team for a
He
year.
immediately gets a concussion like the first
Yeah.
game.
on the
Gets hit
sideline.
in the
And
head.
it is what it is, guys.
I'm trading for my brother.
It should have been like
maybe
Derek.
Mario Williams. I don't know.
Derek, get
Laramie
in here.
Tunsil.
Tunsil player coach.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Who was the big guy? They got the other alignment opposite of Mario Williams. They got. When you look up, he hit somebody in college.
Jadavion Clowney.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, just got released.
Just got
Yeah,
cut.
he might as well
I
be a
want-
head coach.
I want volunteers, not
He'll
hostages.
be at the Cowboys next year.
You think?
No,
Guaranteed.
he should be a head coach of the Texans, man. Why not? I mean, we're just doing things now.
You might get interviewed.
There's a chance.
I'm going to tell you now.
I've never
if you have a
played or
successful
coached
basketball
football.
season head coach this year, if you were successful in your first basketball season, the Colts will look at you to be their NFL head coach. next
No,
year.
I don't know how to block anybody.
Congratulations, Coach Frank.
Hey, thanks.
First year, but
Coach
it's
Frank,
gonna be
year
fun.
one.
Hey, speaking of, if you're in Charlotte County and you need to help some kids, we need some coaches.
Oh,
Come
come
see
on,
us.
bro. He's so cheap. Hey, so look, my Houston pick, you guys, he hasn't been mentioned. Just something that I like.
I think I have your guy down. I
Mike
know what you're going
Kafka.
to say. Oh, okay. No, I didn't.
I
know
think
what you were gonna say.
I think Mike Kafka from the New York Giants, Daniel Jones, quarterback whisperer. My favorite thing about this is Houston's going to draft a quarterback, whether it's Young or Stroud, at that number 2 position. They're going to need a quarterback whisperer. Mike Kafka, former quarterback, played for Andy Reid.
Northwestern, right?
Yeah, and is also under the Andy Reid coaching tree.
He is.
And that's significant.
That's a good tree.
So that's my sleeper pick for Houston.
I thought you were going to go DeMeco Ryans.
That was my second
what I
pick.
thought, yeah.
That was my
that's-
second one.
Go home to Houston. The last place that I want to talk about, Arizona. Arizona got rid of Cliff Kingsbury. Justified or not, I don't know. I get the hey, first half, second half stats. He's terrible in the second half, I guess. But I also think
he lost the team. I told you guys, he lost the team.
yeah,
He's gone. There was no keeper.
it's hard to do anything with that quarterback.
I
With Kyler
cannot
Murray.
see getting Kyler Murray's opinion after the year that they had
No.
on who the head coach could be.
I mean, he's been hurt all year. It's not like he didn't perform.
Call it what you
I
want.
don't think he's been hurt all year. I think he's been hurt this last little bit of the year, and I think he's one of those quarterbacks that if you say, "Hey, we need you to do X, Y, and Z," he goes, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'll do that." I mean, let's see, we're not far off on the study clause, and then all of a sudden, just the fact that they had to put that in there is wild.
He's
No,
not the
that's-
guy I want
don't
making
get me wrong.
important decisions on staffing.
I'm not a big fan of him because I hate drafted the running backs in fantasy football, and then he never gives it to the running backs. And every time he doesn't play, the running back runs the ball. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out James
But-
Conner.
Yeah. Anyways, but beyond that, I mean, the guy made plays. They were a great team last year when he was healthy all year. They had some things. They put it together. They look good. Hopkins was hurt for the first quite a few
He wasn't
games.
hurt. He was suspended.
He was suspended for the first 6 games of the
Yeah,
season.
6.
Came along. Murray got hurt. They just couldn't pull it together. I think Cliff lost the locker room, and I think that if they can just get a decent coach, I think it's a great place to go want to play or want to coach. He's got weapons up and down the lineup. They
so-
said they wanted to trade Hopkins anyways.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
Hopkins is gone.
If
He's
they
in
trade
his-
Hopkins, they might as well trade Murray at the
He's
same
in
time.
his last year. I don't think. I mean, Murray's not going to be ready anyway. This is a sneaky Harbaugh place, and it's a sneaky Harbaugh destination because I think they hired Ethan Wan, who's the assistant GM from Jacksonville.
Oh, wow.
He worked Waughn. If you could have guessed that, then I would have. He worked with Harbaugh in San Francisco. I think let's get the band back together. Let's go to Arizona and kick the crap out of San Francisco for revenge's sake. So I can see that.
That's good.
Maybe it's a winnable division.
I
yeah.
think Vance Joseph stays. They promote him from DC.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Nothing wrong with that.
That could be that could be a Lovie Smith type move. Hey, we don't know who we want right now. We can't get anybody.
Bring in Hackett or LaFleur.
But you got to go if you're doing that. You have to go all in on Murray. You got to go get him a guy that's
Might already be all
better.
in on Murray.
Once you say that you're going to help us make the decision on the coach, they're all in. Whatever.
Yeah. Now it's, I don't think we've seen the last coaches get fired.
Oh, no.
We'll
By-
see
by
after
far.
this
Dallas.
weekend. There's going to be a couple.
Yeah, Dallas.
That might get the axe.
Dallas.
Brandon Staley from the Chargers might.
You don't play for Dallas.
I think Staley's gone because never mind. I just think Staley's
Coming
gone.
up now. If you watch other shows, I know all of us listen to tons of podcasts and stuff. So Colin Cowherd has his herd hierarchy. ESPN has the Power Football Index.
They got Stephen A's list too.
What does his name? Does his list have a name?
Stevens A's
Yeah.
top 5 or
Yes,
something.
Yeah, Stephen
Well,
A's
it's
list.
Very
Yeah.
original, guys.
Stevens A list.
Yeah,
his A-list.
Stephen's A list. That's
yeah,
it.
Stevens A list. And
Well, you
then-
know what we have here.
what about Nick Wright's pyramid? What is that
Yeah.
one?
Don't mention that, dude.
Yeah, we got to say it.
Dollar
It's a-
store skip. Let me tell you why the Jets aren't in the playoffs, but they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Next time. Dude, you are the puppet for Colin Cowherd. All right. You know what we have here at the 3 for 3? We have the Power Frankings.
That's right. We do.
The
That's
Power
it.
Frankings.
We have our confidential envelope. This was a very sought after thing, so I had to make sure I had to lock it up.
It is very, very something.
It's
I
all
don't-
crap.
It looks good. Hey, listen, man, I'm
It
proud.
looks the presentation's done well.
So why don't you go ahead? This is the time where, again, the quiet assassin, Mr. YouTube Views over here, is going to give us his Power Frankings, and we're going to figure out if we agree, disagree. So you want to start with at the bottom?
At 14, and I'll work through 14 through 10 pretty quickly. I don't
Okay.
think it's too crazy.
Cool.
I got because of injuries. I got injuries and different things that matter. So if I'm starting off fresh and I'm looking at teams, I got the Ravens at 14. Part of the reasons why I put Ravens at 14 is because the offensive coordinator wouldn't throw the ball to Mark Andrews during the season, and I lost my fantasy football league. And we're not letting that go.
No.
Not until he gets fired. We're not letting it go.
Especially when they don't have a receiver.
We're not Elsa in that at all. It's staying there. They're 14. If they had Lamar Jackson, they still might be 14. They made me that upset. At 13,
Okay.
I have another injury-affected situation, the Miami Dolphins, with Tua being out.
Yeah.
They have great wide receivers, and they have a very subpar defense at best. I think they're a manageable defense, but they can't manage their defense when they can't score. So,
Okay.
and they're playing Buffalo, so I think Buffalo gets healthy. At a very surprising 12 for me, after looking at everything, but Seattle Seahawks. That might be a little bit of controversy with that. At number 11, I have a very hot team. But when I stack up against, it's the playoffs. It's a different type of game. It's not just regular season football. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
At 11?
At 11.
Wow.
So you have the Chargers ahead of them.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Huh.
Yes. So then I have at number 10, which is funny because of certain situations, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 10. So
Okay.
and then so we'll just keep going. We'll go through a couple more pretty quick.
Yeah, nothing's too crazy
I
right
mean,
there.
at the bottom, it is the bottom.
Jacksonville kind of stands out. I don't know that
They're
I'd put
hot.
them that low.
I think they're
it's
an
the
8.
postseason.
But we'll go.
Unproven everything, but it's postseason. Then I have at number 9, I have the New York G-Men Giants.
Football Giants.
Slightly above the Buccaneers.
Jersey?
The New Jersey.
Thank you.
They-
New Jersey.
that's where they ski in their jeans. If y'all haven't watched
ski in their
before.
jeans, so.
They ski in their jeans.
They do.
I'm
That's
telling
right,
you
boys.
guys.
That's right, boys.
They wear temporary tattoos.
So do my children.
So this is when it's going to start getting a little different.
Okay.
This is when we're going to start reaching a little controversy. I think number 8, I have the San Diego Chargers.
Cool.
not the LA.
No.
They haven't done anything either in the postseason. When's the last time they had a postseason win? I don't think
LaDainian Tomlinson ran the starting running, and Antonio Gates caught a touchdown.
it's when Drew Brees got hurt or something like
Yeah.
that. It's been a minute.
Make
At
the
no-
switch to Rivers.
At number 7,
Okay.
I have limping into the playoffs,
be
the Dallas Cowboys
Knew it.
at number 7.
That Frank pause where he looks at
did
you.
Did you see that?
That was
Yeah.
that was good.
They
Okay.
limp into the playoffs. I don't like what I've seen out of them last week. I don't care if it is the last week. I don't care if you're not playing for it's Washington. You could have put up a first half. You could get Noah Brown all the catches in the second half. You could do whatever you want. You limped into the playoffs. You got beat by a team that was ready to play, and they're going to come to a team. Now they play the GOAT.
Sam Howell,
So-
baby. Sam Howell.
But notice how I did rank them up way above Tampa Bay, just for reference sake.
Okay, that's true. You had Tampa Bay win. You had them at 10?
10.
And Dallas
Cowboys
is
at
at
7.
7.
So then at number 6,
Okay.
the Minnesota Vikings. I believe they're fraudulent. I don't think they're real. Their record was way up there, and just is what it is.
This is getting crazy.
But they
You-
are just
you
right above
think-
Dallas.
So you think Minnesota should be higher?
no, I think Minnesota should be well lower.
Oh, okay. I was.
Yeah,
no.
well lower.
So I
Not
think
when
they
you
should be
start
below
breaking
the
down teams.
I would almost
the Giants,
trade
right?
I would
What?
almost trade the Jaguars
Okay.
and them.
Oh, okay.
You want to bring Jacksonville to 6?
Trevor Lawrence is a top 6 quarterback in the NFL.
He is, but he's never played in the postseason, which it's a different game.
Doug Peterson's got a Super Bowl.
Well,
bro.
it's the same game. It's just
No,
a
no,
different
it's a
time
different
of
game.
year.
It's a
No, they're
different game.
still playing football.
No.
Last I checked.
got a national championship, bro.
Past that, I have Minnesota's deep too. So they're not. They didn't come in with nothing. They have a lot of wins.
True.
They've been tested all year. That's
Can
nothing but
Dalvin
close
Cook
games.
play? Have we heard?
I haven't gotten the
Can
official.
Dalvin Cook play?
Our insiders haven't let me know yet.
Stat Boy will have to get on that.
All right.
Next is the San Francisco 49ers at 5.
At 5?
At 5.
Purdy playoffs.
Bro.
I don't trust the quarterback.
Wow.
He's had a
That's-
great couple weeks. Again,
I'm kind of glad you're saying this because every time you've said I don't trust him, he's played well.
hey, the 3-for-3 jinx is a real thing, so we'll see what happens.
It is. That's a reverse jinx.
On the other hand, though, I do have them that high. They are going to win their first game by my rankings.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
also, at number 4, I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow. Okay.
Cincinnati Bengals.
All right.
I trust them enough to put them at 4.
Okay.
At number 3, with a bye week,
Okay.
I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I think they're a good team this year. I think they're solid all over the field.
There is salad all over the field.
They're
They should
probably
clean
the
that up.
most complete team. They're probably the most complete team in the playoffs.
Hidden Valley, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're the most complete team in the playoffs, top to bottom. The real question of why they aren't higher on the ranking list is because of, we'll see what happens in 2 weeks.
Hurts.
If Hurts can get unhurts. And then we'll see where he goes from there.
Thanks for that.
Hurts can get unhurts.
At number 2,
Yep.
I have the team that I'm rooting for,
I appreciate you, buddy.
the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
So you're
And
the
the
Bengals
only
at
reason-
4.
I want to say
Bills
this real
at
fast.
2.
The only reason why I don't have Buffalo at 1, I want to see how they emotionally respond this week. They looked really, really shaky last week.
I agree.
I want to see how they respond. I believe they could be easily number 1. Somebody was, I think it was Cowherd. You sent a thing in our chat. They had him at Allen at 3, and I don't agree with the 3, but I agree with his. He said he's Tyson. He can literally knock out anyone.
Yeah.
There's no team that he can't beat by himself
But he'll get beat by the Buster Douglas.
when he's not paying attention.
We're playing
Correct.
We're playing football.
And
so,
at number 1,
yeah.
it's if it's a question, then it's you need to
Frank's
look internally. That's not my goat.
LeBron and Mahomes.
If he wins this year, he's going to be driving Patty Mahomes. Number 1. That is the power of Frankings. What's your guys' big controversial takeaway?
I think the AFC is stacked. I could have
I
seen.
think it's a crap rankings.
I think.
Well, what's
you-
wrong?
You can go ahead because I know you're going to talk about the Bengals. So you can go right ahead, Alex.
No, you kill him first, Paul. I'll go next.
I'm not going to kill him. I don't think you're wrong. I do think you put I think the Bengals should probably be higher than the Eagles, and
I give the number 1 seed some respect.
I
It's
understand.
not a standings thing.
I understand that it's
For me, they get a week off, they automatically are going to make it another week.
True.
So they're not going to go down.
things have been surprising
Can
in
I-
the first round of the playoffs.
Can I ask this question? What's the only team in the NFL to finish top 5 scoring offense, top 5 scoring defense?
The only team in the NFL to finish top 5 scoring offense and defense.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Bengals.
No.
I'm going to go
Bills?
Dallas. Was it
Paul,
Dallas? I
congratulations.
should have guessed Dallas to start.
You were right.
I should have either guessed.
So here's one stat from Uncle Sam for you guys.
Okay.
For the Bengals.
Yep.
He's worried about them this week, and that's because I told you this before, Alex. John Harbaugh has the most road playoff victories. And I think it's not going to matter. I think they got a backup quarterback. So
So this
But-
is like your LeBron stats
we'll
that you
see
throw
what
out all the
happens.
time.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, he won all that in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
he's played a lot in the playoffs. So
not
don't
nothing.
act like he's not been there for a while. Don't act like he's not.
I mean, he's coached for 20 years. The same team.
I don't mind your rankings. I would have the Giants ahead of Minnesota.
Agree.
I think I would have Jacksonville ahead of Minnesota.
Agree.
I
Put
just
Jacksonville ahead of New York.
What's Jacksonville's record?
I think they won
Doesn't matter.
I think they won
They're
11 games, right?
It doesn't
Conference
matter.
champion.
Doesn't matter what the Jacksonville.
Did you just
Division
pull?
champion.
Did you just pull?
Jacksonville? Didn't they win just like 8 games?
No.
No,
9?
I think they were.
Well,
Yeah,
they
they-
might have been 9 and 8.
They,
Yeah.
yeah,
That-
they
it
were
was
9
nine-
and
it
8.
was 9 games,
They were
yeah.
9 and 8, and they finished the year winning 5 in a row.
They had to win the
They were
last game to
4
even make it into the playoffs.
They were 4 and 8.
True.
And they won their last 9.
They had to win the last game just to even
Yeah, I
make
mean,
it
their
in the
last
playoffs.
5.
Yeah.
Correct. They had to beat
I
Tennessee.
understand.
They had to win that game.
Are we just debating what win means?
So,
what's
they're
going on?
They're 1 and 0 in the playoffs already, and you got them down at 11.
They're not 1-0 in the playoffs, right?
But they had to win last week, right? Win or go home.
They're 1-0 in the last
Oh,
game of the
that's-
season.
you know
Win.
what? That's
What's the
good.
definition of a playoff game?
Yeah.
The definition of playoff game when you make the playoffs. Ask
true.
Alabama if they made a playoff game this year.
They did. They made a postseason game.
Yeah, that's
Thank
right.
you.
They did.
Thank you.
Versus Kansas State.
Thank you.
Which beat TCU, which
great.
made it to the championship. So
Alabama could have beat TCU.
Everybody give Frank a round of applause for
was
his
great.
3 for 3 power
a
rankings.
lot of pressure in that. A lot of pressure. I was building up. I spent a lot of time working on that. that.
I
You did a
appreciate
great
it.
job.
I was ready for a couple of ones. I knew they were kind of controversial. They had to be a
I
little
think
bit.
it fit exactly who you are.
Yeah, I was true to me.
I didn't expect anything
I was
different
true-
than wrong.
My heart
is-
showed out in that list.
It really did.
3 for 3 therapy session
Yeah,
right
my
now.
heart
We got-
showed out.
Okay.
You were wrong. It
My
was
heart-
expected.
Oh,
And so
come on.
that's where we are. Love you for it.
Just taking shots.
A for effort. I know. I know.
You are feisty today.
Mr. Nelson doesn't give effort grades. I do.
I don't.
I'll give you an A for effort.
Don't believe in effort
F in
grades.
validity. But it's there.
You can't spell validity.
You know what you can't spell without an F? It's
if I was
Frank.
Frank, I would say validity.
And guess what? I'd have been right because
It's
everybody's allowed to make up their own words.
You can. All words are made up.
all
Paul
words are
Nelson
made
said
up.
it.
That's right.
All words are
Thank
made
you.
up.
I got a bank of Paul Nelson.
And I'm
sayings
pretty
now.
sure I'm smarter than Shakespeare. So,
I mean,
and he made up 2,400 words.
He can't prove that you're not.
That's right. He's dead.
It's a fact.
Which
He
is
doesn't know
also
how-
what you said about Bill Russell.
He is.
He's goat status.
You know, all I know is-
Billy Shakespeare goat status.
Shakespeare don't know how to use a cell phone. I do.
That's
Simple.
That's true. Very true.
I'm not going to get
I'm
into
smarter.
If Shakespeare played in your time,
Okay.
like on an all-time draft list,
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's slower.
in your time, he doesn't know the internet.
think
He
he's-
can't get
He
through
speaks
Google.
funny too.
He can't.
No,
he
he's
doesn't have a
probably
Facebook.
top
He's
10.
speaking
He's got good hands.
The old English language.
He managed to outlive the plague. That's
That's
pretty good.
true.
Got
That's
lucky.
true.
Got lucky.
Well, next week we'll see who Frank has in his power rankings. So tune in next week.
Power rankings.
I think we'll get to those in episode 9. Let's talk.
Saturday.
Let's talk about wild card weekend. All right. Let's talk about the Chiefs have a bye week. The Eagles have a bye week. We're not going to discuss them. Okay. First game I do want to talk about Dolphins Bills. Let's talk about what you think is going to happen, and then give me a prediction, Frank.
Tua sits on the sideline.
Yeah.
At home.
Is that a good like? Did they get that right? Let's start there. Do
Yeah.
we think they got that right?
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was waiting for like, oh, guess what? You know, whose music is that we hear? It's Tua's.
Yeah, like the glass breaking and Stone Cold walks through it.
When he said that, that's the first thing that went to my mind.
Dun,
You know,
dun,
it was a couple weeks ago.
Gatorade bottles just clashing.
A couple weeks ago, we were having a discussion, and I said, hey, I don't think Tua plays. And you said, he's got to play. Remember, we were texting back and forth, and you were like,
I thought,
how does he not play?
yeah,
I'll tell you how he not plays.
They're not going to let him.
don't get cleared.
I don't think it's about letting him. I think it's about not getting cleared.
No, he's past that now.
I thought for sure there was going to be some. Hey, no, he's fine. He's good. He's good. Tua, come here. Yeah, sit in this dark room. He's been in a hyperbaric chamber. Like, no, he's fine.
The only thing that
I'm
scares
shocked.
me is Buffalo. Buffalo
got-
scares me more,
Yeah.
more than Miami.
It's not too soon, and I thank God for it. But we got good news on DeMar Hamlin before we've gotten good news on Tua.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
Well, you might not get any news because they might be trying to backdoor him and just tell him to sit down, and we don't want to.
That's
we
what
don't
I'm
want to
saying.
hit bed no more. So you might not be getting any news, and it might be a media controlled thing.
it's Tua's got to go somewhere. I don't think he's in Miami next year. We'll talk about quarterbacks kind of moving places
I think
further
he's
in the
gotta
off season.
He's got to go home.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think he's got to go somewhere. Did you have a prediction for us, Frankie?
Yeah. Buffalo wins
Okay,
by a lot.
by a lot.
That's my prediction.
All right.
Very calculated.
I saw the calculations you were doing there. In your
I was
head.
2+ and
You carried that
minus
3.
multiple 4s.
Alex, what do you see? in this
Sometimes
game?
I can't do anything but laugh. I'm just like, oh my God. No, yeah, I love Buffalo. I think Miami's outmatched here. Quarterback play makes a difference in the postseason. Josh Allen's legit. Third best quarterback in the NFL. He's going to, Buffalo's going to come to play. I like Buffalo by 10.
Every time he says it,
Slight.
every time he says
You
it,
might as well just
gets
slap
me more
Paul
and
in
more
the face.
angry.
Why?
It's
Why do you have him ranked third?
because he has
Because
Joe
I have
Burrow
Mahomes
second.
and Burrow.
Yeah, he does have Burrow second. I get it.
Burrow is a supreme arm talent.
I
Right, then it's Dak Prescott at 4. Right?
I
Absolutely
hope
not.
that
Thank
Josh
God he
Allen
said-
has the similar stats he does this postseason as he did last offseason or last postseason.
He was crazy good.
It was great. He leveled up. Again, I hope, and I think there's going to be some kind of crazy. DeMar Hamlin shows up to the game, and gives a boost. I think they need it. What scares me is, like Frank mentioned before, is the Miami wide receivers. Like that scares me.
They can
It would
take
not
any play at
shock
any
me.
time.
If Skylar Thompson can just get them the ball, it's super scary. So I have the Bills winning a close game.
It will not shock me if Miami wins the game. I will understand.
It will
and nobody,
absolutely shock me.
Nobody will be mad if they lose. Nobody.
There's
That's
You can't
incorrect.
be mad. I can't be mad.
To a division
Not
foe,
after what they went through.
I'll
it's
be
still
mad,
football.
but I'll understand.
Yeah, that's why.
Right.
Let me
Yeah,
say that.
I think
There
that's
you go.
If they lose, I won't even be shocked. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be like, get right. Be back next year.
so no Tua.
Nobody's been through that.
So
it's kind of hard to even
but
judge
what I'm
they could
saying
be.
is, and I don't mean it to be ugly, but what I'm saying is that just last week before the game kicked off, we're like, oh, these emotions, it's going to carry them to the Super Bowl, and then they play a shaky game, and I was like, well, it wouldn't be a surprise they lose. I'm
Well,
like,
that's
pick
because
one,
you saw
stop.
that's because you saw what the emotions did. So before you got
They
facts,
still
then you
won
can
a
make
football
decision.
game, and that's not easy in the NFL.
True.
Correct.
They're going to be fine.
But they were way better than the team they were playing. It wasn't. It was expected for them
There's
to win.
not a bad team in the NFL.
No, I could argue.
I see you're no bad team in the
the
NFL,
only
and
reason why
I
you're saying
raise
there's
you.
no-
I raise you a Chicago Bears or a Houston Texans.
I
You're saying
understand
there's
it,
no
but
bad
Houston
team in the
played.
NFL because Dallas barely beat Houston. So I get what you're
A
saying.
couple
there.
teams barely beat Houston.
Yeah,
Well, they.
couple teams lost to Houston.
Let's
I get.
just
Two.
be what it is.
I understand. I just
Any given Sunday.
true. Anybody can win at any time. I mean, the Bengals showed that in the AFC Championship game last year. That anything can happen. So no Tua. Similar thing, although not concussion issue for Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. No Lamar Jackson. I think it's going to be Tyler Huntley. I don't think it's the third round. I know he had
haven't seen
limited.
it yet.
He had limited practice on Thursday. I didn't see the practice report today. I'm assuming that Tyler Huntley is going to be the guy. And if he is, then great. If he's not, then they're in trouble.
I actually believe that we're going to have the same score that I just saw. It's going to be 57-6. It's going to be just like the national championship game. The offensive coordinator.
You mean that John Harbaugh guy you were just talking about?
It's-
All that postseason wins in the road and stuff?
It's going to be the same type of situation. I just dislike Baltimore at this point for this year, and it is what it is.
I want to say three things.
Houday.
I want to say three things. 4 words. I'm going to say 4 words to Baltimore right now.
Okay.
Pay the damn man.
Yo, so you want him to stay?
Listen.
You could tell
for
they
our
fell
kids-
apart
For our
when you
kids who are watching, all you got to do is say earmuffs, man. Just earmuffs one time.
Does
Our
that
kids-
work?
Yeah.
I want to say
It does.
3 words. Let me PG it. Pay the man.
Pay
There you
the,
go.
pay
Pay
the
the
darn man.
Pay him.
Pay the man.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
I don't blame him if he doesn't play at all. Even if they win, if he doesn't come back next week, I don't blame him.
I hope he's gone. I
Yeah.
hope he chooses to leave.
I think they get rid of Greg Roman.
Yeah.
And
I still think he leaves.
Yeah, I think
If
he'll
I'm Mark Andrews, I'd leave too.
just go somewhere where
Everybody
hey,
leave.
Mark, come to Buffalo. Go to other
Everybody
places.
should
that'd be all right, right?
I have. So I'm going to hedge. I'm going to pick the Ravens in an upset because I think the team plays a lot better under Tyler Huntley than they do under
What's the record with Huntley?
Anthony Brown.
They haven't scored over 17 points yet with Tyler Huntley.
I think they've won. I think they were 4-2 under Huntley though.
Like 14-9.
Listen, at the end of the day, who cares as long as you get the win?
Oh, like that Houston Cowboys game?
Yeah, sure.
It's not about how you win; it's how many wins you got.
That's the motto, right? Now, probably the best of the AFC matchups is Chargers at Jacksonville. So this is the battle of the two young guns. Alex, what do you think?
Here's what I'll say. My list of top 5 quarterbacks, 6 quarterbacks in the NFL, it goes like this. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Dare I say, I'm not going to say it. It could be
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence could be better than Justin Herbert.
I was waiting for 4 more quarterbacks to be listed in your top
No,
5.
I have my top 10 in the
All
top
right.
5.
All right.
So, but he's taken a step.
Yeah, second half of the season, he's looked
And
completely different.
And I tell you, you match a good quarterback, a decent quarterback with Doug Peterson
Okay.
and that scheme,
Yeah.
man, love the Jaguars here.
Is it him taking a step up, or is it me? Or like as soon as they got rid of James Robinson and said, "Hey, Travis Etienne, you're the guy." Like, did the whole team rally around? Like, hey, yeah.
I think it's everything, and so I think James Robinson, certain smaller back, that kind of thing. I think Etienne brings a speed, kind of like the Pollard effect in Dallas.
Another Dallas mention.
Thank you.
He's crushing it.
It could be the fact that the first year he had like maybe positively the worst NFL coach in the history, and it took maybe like 5 or 6 weeks to
Nick
fix him
Saban quit
in a
before
regular
week
season.
1. Nick Saban quit before week 1.
And yet he's still not the worst coach.
Pete Carroll signed at Miami and left for Seattle.
And I would still take them over what Urban Meyer did last year. Like, I think it might have took 6 or 7 weeks to fix the dude in the regular season. And then Doug Peterson has a great scheme. He had to learn it. He had to get into it. Now that he's in it, I think
I love that.
we're watching the evolution of a better version of Carson Wentz.
Oh, good. I think this could come down to coaching.
When Carson Wentz was playing and they went to the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
everybody was like,
he was an MVP type player.
That year he was
Yeah,
definitely.
before he got injured.
Taylor Heineke is a better version of Carson Wentz.
Not in the early years.
Let's
When
not
they
even
won
do that.
Super
Not that
Bowl,
year.
bro.
Not that year.
They won
You
a
mean
Super-
They won a
that
Super Bowl.
10-game season?
Yeah,
those 10 games
Yes.
Yeah, the
yes,
10
that's
games.
exactly
in
what
a
we're talking
7-year
about.
career.
Yeah, because
He got
Tyler
injured.
Haneke won 10 games this year.
He got injured.
You guys and
He
your
got
Philadelphia
injured.
stuff and your Washington
Stop
Commanders
hating
stuff
and have
your-
respect for a Super Bowl champion. Just because your kids have never thought about having a Super Bowl victory or even seen a Super Bowl victory.
Oh, man.
So what? That I have actually married my wife, my loving, beautiful wife.
What'd you do this week?
We've been 17.
Say it.
We've been together 17 years, and guess what? We haven't seen a playoff victory out of Dallas.
Yes, you have.
No, because I didn't watch that one game.
But I
I was working
was-
that game. I couldn't turn TV on.
It happened though.
One
We
victory.
call it what you want,
One
it happened.
playoff game. How many games has Washington playoff games Washington won since then?
Oh, I don't know. I don't count.
One. But Dallas has
I
been in
don't
the playoffs like 12 times since then. Dallas they won a Super Bowl win 90.
I don't know. Let's test your history.
94?
Come on. You're wrong.
93, 94.
You're wrong. They did win 93.
That was 93 the last one, or was 94 the last one?
Wrong.
95?
Wrong.
96.
Next,
you go.
next time on
96?
3 for 3, we guessed years for half an hour.
So it was 27, 28 years since something like that?
Whatever.
So who do you think wins, Frank? You got Jacksonville?
No, I'm picking the Chargers. After all that, I think
That was the most Frank thing ever.
Justin Herbert is he's so if Lawrence miraculously jumped him
Okay.
ahead of
I
him,
want to throw my tablet. right now.
Herbert's right behind him.
Don't do
They
that.
have
You'll get fined.
way better weapons.
true.
They have Eckler is a monster. They have a decent tight end. They have 2 good wide receivers.
No, they don't.
If you're starting a team right now, are you drafting Eckler? Are you starting Eckler or Etienne?
Eckler.
Yeah. Even with the size issues, I
That
think
makes
I think
2 of y'all.
Eckler. Yeah.
I'm taking
Oh,
Etienne.
we're 2 for 3.
Now I think one thing that you missed on, Frank, is Mike Williams out for this game, and
Correct.
that's
Don't matter.
I think it matters.
He's the best
I think to quote you earlier this year, it was like he had plumbers. Herbert had plumbers for wide receivers.
He's still got
He had-
Allen.
They got DirecTV satellite dishmen putting up numbers.
It's like he doesn't watch his own
Yeah.
like he doesn't keep track of everything he's said before.
I
Well,
think
because
it's-
you got to understand though, new information happens every week and opinions change.
He's like, that's what I got you here for, Paul. Like it's
This
you're
guy's-
supposed to be.
He's so far all
Opinions
over the
change
map.
They
based
do.
on facts.
They
And facts come different every week.
You're not wrong.
Unbelievable, you.
I think I'm going to pick Jacksonville because if it comes down to do I trust Doug Peterson or Brandon Staley? I
Doug
pick
Peterson.
Doug Peterson. NFC again. We're not going to talk about the Eagles. Eagles have another week to kind of get everything right. Seattle and San Francisco. I'm going to start with Frank because he was probably the number 1 Seattle fan
Seattle, dare you?
and hated
Oh, no,
Brock
it's-
Purdy.
it's
So you can go right
Double dare
ahead.
you?
I had the bold prediction. There ain't no chance. San Francisco at home is a monster, and anybody that plays in San Francisco is going to lose. Period. This year, the rest of the year. That's my prediction. If they
Man.
go to San Francisco, they're going to lose. I don't care who they play.
Minnesota, San Fran.
But
you'd go San Fran.
Where they have
Oh, yeah.
one more game after this at home. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's far fetched.
No.
Unless Philly loses, they're only playing at home one more game after this.
Alex.
Yeah, San Francisco.
I think San Francisco's in the Super Bowl.
I think
that's just my other
the only question is we'll see how Purdy plays in the postseason.
It's so easy in that system.
I don't
gonna be
trust
fine.
Purdy at all. And guess what?
You don't have to trust him.
I don't need.
But
to.
you know what? You need to
I don't
trust.
need
You don't
to.
need to.
I don't need.
You can
to.
trust that we're 3 for 3.
Yeah.
San Fran.
Yeah, it has to be.
3 for 3. Thank you.
Hold your threes up.
3 different types of threes. Giants, Minnesota. This. I mean, I think this should be the
The closest
game
of the playoffs this weekend.
Probably should be.
Maybe the next game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because I still don't know who the New Jersey Giants are, and I really don't know who Minnesota is. So I'm waiting to see kind of what happens in this game.
What's
I'm
that
gonna
movie?
g-
Show them who you are. I don't know what movie that is, but that's what I feel like when I watch this game. I don't know what we're going to
I think to quote Eminem, this is when the real Daniel Jones stands up.
Did he say that?
I'm really sure
Was
he
it?
never said that.
Daniel,
But okay.
Jones going to
Yeah, it was
stand
off
up.
his first album. All the Trailer Park Girls were around the outside and all that stuff. It was a Daniel Jones song.
So Daniel Jones was 4 when that came out. All right.
Black Panther. Show them who you are. By the way,
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Black
that's the movie,
Panther.
Black Panther.
Show them who you are.
Show them who you are. Okay,
So
sorry.
yeah,
It's a great
Good-
movie.
good. Yeah, thank you for the pickup. I am going to take the Vikings. I think they're going to win. I think I think that Justin Jefferson, and I didn't say Kirk Cousins. I think Justin Jefferson is not going to let them lose this game. I think that Saquon's going to make a play. I still don't trust Daniel Jones. Yeah, he had a great year.
Hey, Frank,
He-
really quick, who's the backup running back in Minnesota?
Uh,
Guarantee you know this. You pick him up every year.
Every-
It's because he's
Picks
my
him up
guy,
like
Madison.
eight times.
Madison.
Madison.
I had him. I knew he was. in the
This
beginning.
dude's like, hey, look, I know,
Madison.
but I got
I'm
him
a
in like
stash
the,
him.
the most often
I
injured
got him in
running
like
back.
the 12th round, man. I got
Dalvin
Madison. You know
Cook.
Dalvin's getting hurt, so like I
Dalvin's
got
going
him.
down eventually. Let me get this guy. And he always produces them.
Yeah, always. But that's what I was going to say. If Dalvin's out, I'm going to go to New York. If Dalvin plays, I want to stick with Minnesota.
So Dalvin
that
Cook
close.
is the difference maker?
To me, it is.
Oh, it's that close. I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah, I can see that.
I think you're glossing over. He just made 2 picks. That's Alex is putting. Golly,
I just
he
threw it
snuck
out
it
there.
by you too.
He didn't
He
even
snuck
say
it.
anything.
He
So,
snuck it by you,
we
and then
need-
you like congratulated. You're like, yeah, great job.
Yeah, you know what? I can't.
Gosh.
You know why? Because I kind of agreed
Dude,
with
you-
him. That was the problem.
It's finally happened.
what happened there is I kindly picked 2 after he said it 2. So I'm not
Did
gonna.
we just become best friends? yeah.
happened.
So much room.
How good housekeeping?
Gosh. So I'm going Minnesota as well. So I guess we're kind of 3 for 3. I think we're 4 for 3. There.
Yeah,
I guess.
You know, you and I just buried Frank for having New York
Yeah.
below Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then
but
both of you
that's-
take the
And we
Vikings.
both-
Well,
took
I think
Minnesota.
I think it's a close game.
We're all over the place.
My biggest question is, and Alex has touched on this a lot, and you guys who have watched, is primetime Kirk. It's primetime Kirk, and primetime Kirk does not look good.
Wait. A quick one for you. Minnesota wins.
Yeah,
Dallas loses.
yeah.
What about it?
Is Kirk a better quarterback?
No. Mike McCarthy gets fired.
They'll have the same amount of playoff victories.
We get Sean Payton.
After one victory, guess what? We tied.
That's a point for Frank.
You know, with Sean Payton, Dak's definitely the better quarterback.
So
With Sean Payton, Kirk's the better quarterback too. So I don't know. It's pretty redundant there, but all right.
Kirby Smart goes there. Then no. Dallas and Tampa Bay. Dallas Cowboys and Tampa Bay
I don't want to pick.
Braden ears.
so hard.
Alex, we're just gonna let you go ahead and talk for a little while.
TB12's never lost to the Cowboys. They had a stupid report all over Bleacher Report, ESPN about how the Cowboys can't play in the grass. Like their
saw
stats
that.
are all over the place.
I
and
saw that. It
It was
was
just ridiculous. I'm sitting there going,
They only can't play in the grass when they are on the East Coast after 7:30
like-
and the sun is setting.
and then like there's all this talk about the Washington Commanders game, and it's like, oh, is this what Dak threw? Only completed 30% of his passes. He threw 2 more picks, another pick 6, 7 games in a row with an interception. They couldn't run the game. They averaged 2 yards a game against the Washington Commanders and on rushing the ball. So who cares? They're winning. TB12, go home, bro.
Okay.
Find a new team. You know why we win? Todd Bowles.
So I'm gonna go in there and just Go on just a little bit. I'm not going to say much.
Okay.
No, don't say anything. We
Death.
win.
No, he has to say
Death.
anything. That's the show.
Wait a second. Death, taxes, and don't bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Bro, I fear that.
I won't do it.
I feel
I
it.
think Dallas is going to win, but if you're telling me to make a pick, I'm taking
If
Tampa
I gotta
because
put my money
death,
down?
taxes, and don't bet against Tom Brady
I'm
in the
flipping
playoffs.
through my FanDuel, and I'm like, I can't make this
He's
bet.
like I think
But
it's
I'm
like
going to.
16 years away from AARP, and I'm still betting him.
Who? Tom? I think he's closer than that. I think I think he's a lot closer to AARP.
He is closer than I'm thinking about.
Yeah, man.
Is it
That's-
50, what, 55?
I don't know.
So he's 10 years?
No idea.
Somebody
I'm
leave
the
a
youngest. I'm the
Comment in the
youngest of the
section
bunch.
if you're on AARP.
Listen,
we
I'm
won't make
pretty
fun of you
close to
too much.
AARP also.
Here's the answer.
You're the
Just so I
oldest.
know.
There
You're the
is no age limit for AARP. You can apply at any time. Okay, that's a fact. And I know because they always send me crap,
At
and
thir-
Lindsay gives me so much junk.
At 27 years old,
Yeah.
I got my first AARP.
Yeah.
Will you
Yeah,
sign
man.
up?
Yeah.
So I hate Dallas for my youth. How could I not? And I hate Tom Brady. But I think my hatred for Tom Brady outweighs my hatred for Dallas.
Amen.
And Dallas, the one thing it has going for it is Alex said he would pick the Bills if the Bills played Dallas in the Super Bowl. So I'm going to pick Dallas here. I'll go Dallas.
Go with your heart. You know.
Thanks. Thanks. You're my heart. You're my conscience.
I appreciate
All right.
that.
All right. There we go.
So
I have no
I'm-
strings.
I'm taking Tampa Bay unless Tom Brady's hurt, and then I'm taking Dallas. I'll take both sides.
I'm
you
picking-
can't do that.
You just did
This
it.
is
It's
what
not even
happens.
good.
Same exact thing.
The Washington Commanders show up and say, "We got next," and they just play whoever wins. Now, one team that's not winning. So those are our playoff predictions. We'll see what happens. But an individual who's not winning too much is Uncle Sam.
Nope.
That's
Bro.
right. Listen, he used to be the Sultan of the spread. He used to be the king of cash. He used to be the Prince of Points. He used to be the Viceroy of Vegas, the Governor of the Greenbacks, or the Master of Money. But as of right now, after a tie last week, he squeaked one out.
He
out.
did, he
I
did.
should have picked the Steelers.
You said
Browns.
it, and I said go with
Both
go
you
with your
guys said
first.
it,
No,
and
I said go with your first. We
Let's
watched
be
the tape.
honest. Let's be honest.
I'm so mad
A
at myself.
13-point nothing comeback by the Giants, and we would have lost.
What?
Your pick came in
Dude,
clutch
I
in
was
the fourth
locked
quarter.
and loaded. I was confident.
It was the start of the fourth quarter.
I was confident.
and we
makes
texted in the thread.
One
We
for
lost
3.
again.
Yep.
that was because of you guys' picks.
Oh, your pick was there. It
Listen,
just got
man,
lucky.
this is
It
a
squeaked
team
in.
event. Stop. Listen,
my-
don't be
my
throwing
bad.
us under the
You-
bus.
My bad.
are no good.
It's-
My God, you guys are going to carry us this week.
Maybe. So Uncle
I
Sam's
know
pick,
you are.
Like usual.
his picks are, he's got the Giants, right? The Giants over Minnesota
Yes.
-3. He's got the 49ers over Seattle -9. And he's got an NBA pick for us. He's got the Nuggets over the Clippers -4.5.
He loves Jokic.
How can you not? Does he love him more than Embiid?
Yeah, he does.
Of course he does. He's a smart man.
MB's the better center. but
I don't know how he
whatever.
could. If he was a real fan, he'd like Philly and everything, but he's not a real fan.
No, he's not. He's the same thing as his nephew over here.
I'm calling you out again.
Jeez, dang. Uncle Sam, I appreciate you, buddy. We gotta.
I know we love you.
We gotta
but-
hit the link sometime, buddy.
Love you, Uncle Sam, but he
but-
gets it honest.
But we're gonna go ahead and beat you again this week. Frank, your pick. Why don't you go ahead and hit us?
I like. It's true to my other predictions. Chargers over the Jags,
Yeah.
plus 2.5 points.
Mm.
So I believe it's going to be a close game. That 2.5 points just made me even a little bit all giddy inside.
Okay. Alex.
I'm gonna go Cowboys -2.5 at TB.
All right. So I'm going with one prediction. You know what though? I had some stupid NBA ones. Like I had. All right. Boston plays the Hornets. I'll just take Boston. I mean, the only line that I saw that was out was like Boston -11.5, and that scares me.
You could take money line.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm
Just get the
I'm going to
dub.
try and
Hey, those
And-
dubs add up. Don't get it twisted.
Bro.
you should not get it twisted for those of you guys out there. Do not ever get it twisted. It's hard to untwist.
Don't cross the streams.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Ghostbusters reference only.
Yes.
So I'm picking the Bengals over the Ravens -9.5.
That's
and I'm hoping to God that the 3 for 3 jinx is on.
You did
Just
just
took-
pick the Ravens in an upset.
I'm hedging. I'm hedging. All right.
did say you were going to
always
hedge.
hedge.
I said I was going to hedge.
This is
I
as
am
bad
hedging.
as taking 2 running backs on the same team on your fantasy league.
Paul, if I could say
I had
really
a
quick,
theory, and I finished. Listen, I finished third. My theory was correct.
Your
I love
theory
that
is
we
the
spent-
Moneyball theory. It makes you the playoffs, but doesn't get you the victory.
I love that we spent so much time together because you're going to win that bet.
Yeah,
One of those you're going to win.
Listen.
That's all I care
listen,
about.
fellas. Let me tell you a little something about little Paul Nelson. Okay, I work the cash register. I'm getting paid one way or another.
You're going to win that.
Wow.
I
bet.
work the cash register.
For every one of you that doesn't know, he's a school teacher, and we're talking about stealing.
Yeah, that's okay. I steal every day. You know what? I steal the attention span of the kids.
Steals-
yeah, don't look at
steals
your
the
phone.
hearts.
Look at Mr. Nelson. Boom. Shout
Boom.
out. Cumberland
He steals-
High School.
He steals the
Boom.
hearts of the heart of his wife every day.
Third period government class.
What are you guys, the
I know you
Dukes?
guys are watching the show. We had a couple new subscribers. Why? Because the kid said, "Hey, I'm on this TikTok," and you know what your boy said? Mr. Nelson's on TikTok.
Yes, you
No,
are.
you're not. I said, check it out. 3 for 3.
Yes, you
Listen,
are.
No, you're. Oh my, Mr. Nelson, that's you. And I went, that's me.
That's you.
We got a 5th grader sign up because of Luke.
Boom.
Hey, are you guys the Dukes?
We are.
Shout out to Duke's Mayonnaise for being the best mayonnaise.
No, I'm not a fan of any mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Hey, we got a big matchup next week: Cumberland versus Central middle school
Is it?
basketball.
Is it a big matchup?
Is it
Not
big?
really. It's
I don't think it's.
no. Cumberland's got some feisty players. Those kids
Yeah.
come to play.
We have a couple less
do.
now because eligibility issues, but that's the way it rolls sometimes,
no.
guys.
Man, you got to love school sports.
I do.
You got to love it.
Baseball season's coming up mid-February. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to my team. Again, that's it for us on our next episode. Tune in. Again, make sure you subscribe, like, hit at us on Facebook, on Instagram, on the TikTok, as the kids say. You know, check us out on Spotify, on Anchor. Check us out everywhere. We are everywhere.
Everywhere.
Next episode, we're going to be talking about quarterback Mushroom. That's all, folks. Quarterback Mount Rushmore. So we'll see who our top 4 picks are. Alex, are you going with 8 quarterbacks or 10? For
I have
Mount
7
Rushmore?
written down, but
Okay, that sounds about right. We're also going to have our first mini competition where we're going to be drafting our all-time NBA team. They're playing in a 7-game series right now. Who would win? And we're going to try and fix the Chicago Bears with our first ever 3M GM. That's right, a
Let's
3-man
do
GM. We're going to go ahead and try and fix the Bears. I'm pretty sure we're going to disagree on a lot.
Yeah, mine's gonna be cartoonish. I can't wait.
love it.
Cartoonish. Well, again, from
Kind of like his Frankings.
from our family to yours, the 3 for 3 podcast will always be there. Death, taxes, and hot takes. We out.